Yoko Ono, the wife of Beatles member John Lennon, is probably one of the most hated people of all time. And in my opinion, the hate is not justified. Now, I'd say there are three main reasons why people hate her. Firstly, the presumption that she broke up the Beatles. Secondly, that she's a bad person. And lastly, her music and art just sucks. Now, let's look at the first reason. The idea that she broke up the Beatles. This assumption is completely false. Firstly, all the members say she wasn't the reason, and although she did play a small role in it, these people hated each other. She's kind of just like the final straw that broke the camel's back. Like, you don't blame Gavrilo Princip for starting World War I. Sure, he fired the shot at Archduke Franz Ferdinand, but did he really, cause the war? No, it was the tensions of the alliances beforehand that caused World War I. Just like the tensions of the Beatles at the time. However, the next reason has a little bit of merit. The statement that she was a bad person. Firstly, what she did to Julian Lennon. Julian Lennon was very much neglected as a child by John and Yoko. And while yeah, she did neglect him, John also did. So don't put all the blame on Yoko here. Because her husband also was a bad person. That doesn't say that she wasn't bad for doing this. However, I mean, her husband was doing the same thing, and people don't hate on John the same way they hate on Yoko for what they did to their child. And also, the son, Julian, was John's biological son. Wouldn't it make more sense for John to actually care more about him? Actually, speaking of blaming Yoko, a lot of people blame Yoko for, making John cheat on his wife. That wasn't Yoko's fault, it was John's fault. He's the one who cheated. Why are you blaming her? But still, valid point, she made Julian Lennon pay for letters that he wrote to his own father, which I think that's very bad of her. So, that's some negative Yoko points right there. She did something bad, okay? There you go. There's your valid point. But, think about it. All the people associated with the Beatles kind of did bad things. I mean, even all four of the members, they all did bad things, and yet they don't face the kind of scrutiny. I don't see anyone getting mad at Ringo for doing this. I mean, he's Ringo, but still, Ringo, why'd you do that, bro? And also, the last point about her being a bad person is people like to get on her for using the glasses that John got shot in on an album cover with his blood on it, and alright, so this may, so obviously this is a very shocking image right here, but obviously that's what Yoko was trying to do, and, Yoko is his wife. Why do you feel like you have more judgment over, what she's doing when she's literally his wife? Why do you feel like that this is, disrespectful when she's literally his wife? She would have more, power in saying what's disrespectful and what's not, because she was literally married to him. So don't, act like you're above Yoko on, the John ethic meter. Because she is probably on the top of the John ethic meter. But now, you might say, okay, well, she was not the greatest person, which she wasn't the greatest person, but hey, she did good things. She started a foundation for peace. She built 90 schools. That's good people stuff right there. And also, she didn't break up the Beatles. So honestly, at this point, she's still a pretty good person. The pros outweigh the cons, in my opinion, right now. However, some people are like, yeah, but her music sucks. And I can kind of get where people get this from, because most people's experiences with Yoko's music is this. And clearly this is very bad. However, people, most topics, they don't want to delve below the surface, because she actually has some banger songs.
Kiss, kiss, kiss me now. Just one kiss, kiss will do. In paradise, we're all asleep or paralyzed. Why are we scared to verbalize our multicolored dreams? The dice in the air. Why must we learn
But you say, ah, man, no, those songs don't count though, because they're too like mainstream. She was just trying to make pop music or whatever. What about her weird avant-garde music? And in my opinion, her weird avant-garde music is very good. And her weird avant-garde music is probably also why people hate her, because she's making this wild experimental music, and she's associated with one of the biggest pop bands of all time. So, like, obviously a lot of people aren't going to like the experimental music, since pop music's like for everyone, experimental music is for very few people. It's like if Taylor Swift married MC Ride of Death Grips. Like, the Swifties are not going to enjoy Guillotine. I'm sorry.
It goes, 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 it goes,
But like, let's listen to one of her experimental songs. Greenfield Morning, I Push an Empty Baby Carriage All Over the City, off her album Plastic Ono Band. And this song is one of the most haunting songs I have ever heard. Listen to how she uses her unique vocals to create this sonically scary and depressing song. And that's her intent. It's because the song is about the pain she felt after having a miscarriage, and you can feel the pain deep in her voice. And also, this part right here gives me goosebumps, and it's totally unique, and I've never heard a song just like sonically have something like this. Life-changing, I know. Okay, but now you might say, oh, but she's just like yelping on some tracks. And to that I will say, well, she's yelping for a reason. She's yelping to create like a sense of chaos. Like this song right here is called Why. It really sounds like she's like, why? Like, you can feel the chaos in her voice. So yeah, she has good songs, but yeah, this is pretty stupid. I don't get what she's doing here. But yep, in conclusion, her music isn't bad, she didn't break up the Beatles, and she's mostly a good person. So in my opinion, the absolute hate that she gets, like, this isn't like a light hate. People hate her. Like, people are comparing her like Pol Pot. Like, people do not like her. And she doesn't deserve it. I don't think she does. Extremely overhated. Might be one of the most overhated people in history. And that's it. Not perfect, but nobody is. In conclusion, I love Yoko Ono. She does not deserve the hate that she gets. The end. Look, I kind of have like one of her albums on vinyl. Like, well, it's not just her, because it's also John, but this has some pretty good songs by her. Look, there's the two of them on the back. Double Fantasy, very good album. It has the Beautiful Boy on it. You might know that one. Though the John song, you might know that one. But yeah, good album. I love it. Look, it's Yoko. It's Yoko.